This week Football League clubs are due to discuss proposals which could play into the hands of big clubs like Sunderland, provided the Black Cats can win promotion next season. The chasms in wealth between various leagues has already worked in the Black Cats' favor this summer, but could act against them in the coming months. It shows why clubs have to think carefully to strike the right balance between fairness and competition. It is, though, a model which needs constant tweaking. Papi Djilabadji, Image, Sunderland AFC. The Times reported on Tuesday there are proposals on the table which will tip the balance in favor of the Championship's best-supported clubs. That will be music to the ears of Sunderland, providing they can get there, of course. Meanwhile, Liverpool chairman John W. Henry is proposing the Premier League's Big Six be giving a bigger share of the already huge treasure chest available to them. Discussions between Europe's giant clubs about breakaway leagues seem to forever be taking place in football's corridors of power. That too would see more money in the hands of the rich, fewer scraps for the rest. England's riches came in very handy when the Black Cats needed a new manager. Jack Ross was able to increase his wages fivefold by moving from Scottish top division club St Mirren to the English third-tier side. New Sunderland manager Jack Ross, Image, Sunderland AFC. Where it could be more problematic is when it comes to disposing of players. The Weirsiders are weighed down with players they do not want who are signed on Premier League wages. They all had to take 40% cuts last summer. Jack Rodwell's was deferred 12 months, but not this. Papi Djilabadji is one of those they need to move on. He performed well on a season-long loan at Dijon last season, but the Breton club say they cannot afford to sign him permanently. The Black Cats were believed to be paying £20,500 of his weekly £32,000 wages. That sort of money is unaffordable in League One as well as League One. Djilabadji is very unlikely to be the only player the Black Cats find trapped in the footballing equivalent of negative equity. They seem reluctant to resort to payoffs, but by August it may have come to that. At least they have the assistance of one of football's most generous failure bonuses, the parachute payment. Papi Djilabadji of Sunderland, Image, Sunderland AFC. The huge sums clubs receive when they drop out of the Premier League look grotesquely unfair at first sight, but last season's league table puts them in a better light. Sunderland's £41.5 million was not enough to stop them being relegated again, and Middlesbrough's money did not allow them to yo-yo back into the top flight. Hull City were drawn into the relegation battle, but survived it. The performance of all three sides promoted from the Championship suggests the gulf between it and the Premier League is not the unbridgeable divide it once seemed, although it was far from healthy to see Newcastle United running up a £90.9 million operating loss on the way to winning their seat on the gravy train back. The bigger concern could be the gap between the Championship and League One. All three clubs who dropped out of the second tier in 2016-17 won promotion at the first attempt, although of the teams who took their place, only Bolton Wanderers were involved in a relegation battle, which they won. Sheffield United and Millwall both made unsuccessful pushes for the playoffs. Sunderland will be hoping those trends continue for the next couple of years. The new Football League proposals are about how revenue will be shared out under the new £120 million a year broadcast deal, which will run from 2019 to 2024. They are banking on the success of live streaming. Sunderland turned up their noses at it last season, but the new regime announced on Tuesday they will stream all matches not being shown live on Sky to overseas subscribers via their official website next season. Under the proposals, Championship clubs would be allowed to keep all the money they bring in from streaming, in return for giving those in Leagues 1 and 2 a bigger share of TV cash and solidarity payments. Monetized correctly, it could be lucrative for the Championship's better-supported clubs. At the moment that money is shared centrally once production costs have been taken into account. Under the current distribution model, championship clubs would receive 71.5% of total income next season, compared to 68% last. The new proposal would fix the percentage at last season's figure or make it 66.7% in the Championship, 20% in League One and 13.3% in League Two. On top of their parachute payment of around £34 million, Sunderland will receive £650,000 next season as a solidarity payment given to all League One clubs by the Premier League. Championship clubs are due £4.3 million, and League Two clubs £430,000 per season. A vote is due in November. The clear temptation will be to look after number one, but all clubs need to be wary of upsetting football's delicate ecosystem. Get the numbers wrong and there could be more Rosses, but more Jalabajis too.